Alrighty, where do you want me?
Right here.
Okay.
So an official handshake. I'm so glad to meet you. Okay, this is Nathan. And he spent an hour driving around in circles trying to find us. Unfortunately, we wasted an hour, but we're gonna get right into it. First time in the Northwoods?
Yeah, first time up here, yeah.
I promise you it won't be your last.
Okay.
This is heaven on earth.
It's pretty beautiful.
You go to a lot of nice places, but this is a really special place. So,
all right.
I'm glad you're here. Let me show you around. This is the cabin. This is the Who Gives a Hoot Saloon. And we've had this for 30 years. Can you believe it? 30 years ago, we got this. It was a beat up thing. And my wife and I decided, well, this will be a lifetime project. And it has been. And all the locals know us best for the bar.
That's awesome.
So when you're up here, nobody's driving off the mountain at night.
Keys are getting left behind.
That's right, especially if you spend any time at the bar with all our mountain friends. So the Hoot is pretty famous for that. Go ahead, go on in there.
All right.
It's not exactly a rundown place anymore.
No, it looks great.
Oh, we just love it up here. We love it. We've got the generator going. We've got power. We actually have Wi-Fi, Starlink now.
Oh,
when we got it 30 years ago,
cozy.
even go on in, the radio phone didn't even work. So I got a table all set up for us to talk about trail cameras, and
Oh, that's awesome.
we got a beautiful kitchen, bathroom, bedroom. There's plenty of beds upstairs. We've had as many as 19 people in here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. I'm starting to worry.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Cheers.
Oh, thank you.
Here's,
I made it.
You did make it. So there is something that we need to do besides the toast. We've already done that. I want you to feel completely at home.
Oh boy.
So I got your own special can of Pringles for our podcast in case you want to munch along.
This is like the 5th time this has come up. And everywhere I'm going, I had friends message me and be like, "Yeah, do you want some Pringles?" Because they've been watching the live streams and stuff.
How did that start? One live stream, you were chewing on them?
No, so basically, I was way out in the middle of nowhere, and I was on live stream so long because people were really engaged with it, and I was like, well, I need to eat something.
Yeah.
And my shotgun mic, I thought was the center element was pointed down at the fire.
Yeah.
And because it sounded totally perfect with the cracks in the fire.
Yeah.
And the microphone was actually pointed at my face, and so I was just snacking on some Pringles in between questions while waiting for questions. And it just became a thing. It had its own life, and it just launched off from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's wild.
You're going to have to get shirts and hoodies and hats and everything now.
Yeah, so it's going to like chip off the old block or something on there, or some kind of quote. I don't even know, but
oh, you're already working on it. I can tell.
Well, no, other people are working on it. I don't have to do
I'm
it.
helping. All right.
But yeah, it came up last night.
All right, we are ready to go.
All right.
So sit back a second. Nathan Bronis is a prominent field investigator and analyst within the Sasquatch research community. He is recognized for his field research efforts and technical expertise in data collection. Professional background includes he's a BFRO investigator. He is a veteran member of the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, BFRO, the oldest and largest scientific research body dedicated to investigating Sasquatch encounters and physical evidence. He's an expedition leader. Bronis organizes and leads official BFRO-sanctioned expeditions, specifically focusing on Sasquatch high-activity zones throughout Washington. Field research analyst. He is characterized as a Sasquatch field research analyst, utilizing methods such as long-term remote audio collection, motion-activated thermal camera systems, and seasonal report tracking to analyze Sasquatch behavior patterns. He's a documentary contributor. His work has been featured in several media projects, such as Small Town Monsters, Beyond the Trail video series, and also a contributor to Study Sasquatch YouTube channel. And I was up late last night watching you live. Fantastic contributions. Fantastic. That being said, we're going to get into this. But the reason I hooked up with Nathan was, you'll see it on YouTube, he has got into thermal trail cameras, which fascinates me. And I decided to just drop a dime, as I think is what they call it. And I called him up and asked him some questions about how maybe he was doing that, and some questions about our modern day trail cameras, because I have a lot of experience in trail cameras, and there is not a single person I have ever talked to that is so knowledgeable and could explain things to me on how these things work, other than you. I mean, you know it, and I thought it would be interesting. I asked him if he would, if I tore apart some cameras, if he would explain to us, because I don't think anybody's ever done this. Have you ever seen anybody do this?
I'm not aware of anyone that's done a tear down on trail cameras for functional descriptions of sensors and what modules are being used for what reason. No, I'm not aware of that, actually.
In my telephone call with him, he starts talking about the circuitry and how it works compared to what he's doing in thermal. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy knows more than the sourcing agents that we used to use. And so he agreed to come on here and explain to us not only how our modern day trail cameras work, the components, what's inside of them, but we could get into his project, the thermal trail camera as well. And I think everybody's just fascinated with that. So before you showed up, to save some time, I took a whole bunch of screws out of 3 different trail cameras, and you'll see, and this one's a little different because of the side views, you'll see that it just comes completely apart. And if you would just explain how they work and what all the functions are.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Alrighty. So this is an older trail camera, I can tell that. A couple years at least.
Yes.
So firstly, this one's just got a complete inset board, so it's actually welded to this side. Screen viewer is all attached to the face of the camera. And this is like a low glow infrared trail camera. And you can see here, this is the PIR sensor.
Okay, could you explain PIR,
yes.
Passive infrared?
Yeah, passive infrared receptor.
We all throw that around, but do any of us really know, other than you, how it works, what it's for? Yeah,
so PIR sensors work by detecting into the infrared side of the spectrum of energy. So there's like radio waves on the low end, and then you have like ultraviolet light and ultraviolet light on the other end. So heat and light are directly related, as well as radio waves. Radio waves at the bottom, ultra high intensity bright light being the top. So the PIR sensor functions in that range of heat. So that's why when you heat up a piece of iron, it starts to visibly glow, like in a fire. Mm-hmm. It's crossing 2 different spectrums that are the visible spectrum to the human eye, where it's producing photons in the visible realm that our eyeball can pick up, stuff that's being emitted from the object, going into the eye and generating an image from your sensory and perception of within the eye to the brain. There is a whole other side of energy that is imperceptible to the eye, and that is the deep infrared, meaning heat, just the heat aspect.
So this sensor
sees into the heat
right here.
Yes.
Is going all the time?
Yes, that little PIR sensor.
Okay.
And that's probably like a dual intake PIR sensor. And what that does is it creates a voltage flow that sends an off signal to wake up the camera, because typically these PIR sensors have 2 fields, and these 2 fields are static, right, to the environment. They are heat sensitive, so if the environment has got this still constant temperature between both fields, the flow of the electricity through that sensor stays stable and nothing changes to send a signal to wake up the trail camera. That's what keeps
So the
it.
circuitry has parameters of when it goes in and outside this.
What certain parameters to send the alarm to the camera to wake up to take a photo or video. And so there's typically 2 fields in a PIR sensor, one on each side. And it's very important that this is understood. These 2 fields will be right next to each other like this on a PIR sensor, traditionally. And what happens is it's looking for changes across both fields typically. Mm-hmm. And this is why sometimes an animal coming straight on doesn't...
No, we're going to talk about that.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the PIR sensors are looking for something to change field 1 and into field 2 very typically.
It's multiple fields all across.
Just 2. Typically.
It's only 2.
It's 2 fields. Right. Because it's looking for bang, bang, and that sends the change in the signal to wake up the camera, registering in both fields. Because it's looking for movement, not just heat.
Right.
And you get movement with the passage of time and one receptor being hit first and then the other. That's showing deer entering, deer starting to exit. It's waiting for that double signal for 2 reasons. One, to get a center photo of the deer, and secondly, to not get false triggers on silly stuff like when the sun flickers out from underneath a leaf and it hits one side of the receptor, but there's not really a crossover.
So an animal coming directly at the trail camera, the passive infrared, it's less likely to trigger it, or it'll take a longer time.
Correct.
And why is that?
Well, because many times if both PIR sensors are flat facing forward like this, and if the animal is coming straight on, he's already kind of appeared in the medium of both fields roughly at the same time. And so there's not really this movement or fluctuation across. I'm waiting for one and then the other.
Okay.
So many times that fools the sensor. And also if the deer is going slow enough, the PIR sensor doesn't get enough change to ramp the signal to the camera within a certain time frame, right? It essentially gets a reset. The sensor constantly, like if it was adjusting for temperature, it'd be set on Tuesday for 65 degrees, but then you would get to Saturday and it goes down to 32. It's just going to set off constantly because 32 degrees is lower in parameter than how it was set. So and then your just SD card is full of pictures of nothing because we detected a temperature change, but it's not relative to the environment. So the camera, that passive sensor, seems to always be taking in the background every so often to go, okay, this is the new normal.
That explains to me why 15 years ago my digital field cameras were activating at certain times and not at other times, and false triggers. I get it. Okay, so there's also a time delay. I mean, so it activates, it brings it out of sleep mode now, modern day cameras.
And then it goes into a natural, straightforward function, whatever parameters you set. Basically, that little computer inside wakes up and does whatever instructions immediately that it was given to do.
We had a great conversation about sleep mode with the Blacktail Coach podcast about how the industry talks about trigger time. That's
speed.
Marketing, trigger speed. But I would imagine that most of those trigger speeds are not sleep mode to active. I would imagine it's now the camera's active looking for something to boom, taking it.
Yes.
Or is it both?
Well, the answer is kind of both because the camera system is always providing power essentially to the PIR, but to be conservative with its how much power it has.
Yes.
Because if it was running this full time, it would chew through it in like 3 weeks.
So
it's constantly powering this, and then when this changes the circumstances, it moves to jump power to the computer that is the camera itself to wake the whole camera back up and take photos or video.
So longer battery life in today's modern day cameras is a result of that. Mm-hmm. Some of that as well as some other
just
things.
Better low power consumption, capacitors and circuitry. Like you can look at the boards of the more traditional and cameras like this, and then you can see the more complex boards, but they have power deviation it makes so much more. It makes it more efficient, if you will.
Hey, hold that up here. Look at the lens difference.
Yes.
I'm an optics guy. Right away, I caught that lens. That lens looks superior to this lens. It's bigger. I don't know if it is or not, but there's definitely something to lenses. There's a huge lens on this one.
Yep.
Oh my. But it doesn't mean that it looks a little cloudy. That one looks crystal clear.
And that could just be moisture, mineral buildup, or whatever.
Oh,
but
these were all not so good cameras anymore. So this one, I can't even get to it. So I want to talk about the lenses a second. There is a difference in lenses.
yes.
So
Advantages and disadvantages to both kinds.
yeah, if you're looking for stuff for photography and best image, whether it be still or whether it be video, like I'm doing, I have to shop around and try different ones because there's no way to look at the camera like you can with binocular or you can with a spotting scope and really tell.
Yeah, you need to absolutely look at the specifications and look at the FOV of the camera, and then also you can kind of eyeball the placement of the PIR sensor to kind of get an idea of what you're going to get performance-wise as well as the detection range. For instance, like I can tell right away that this camera has just a straight-up low deflection PIR sensor. This isn't going to see terribly far or be terribly fast. It's got a sunken recessed camera with a coated lens, and this is very much like I put this in the repod and what I get is what I get. Whereas a camera like this, I can cover a longer distance. It has this distended PIR, dual PIR sensors, if not triple. And this has what do they call it? A deformed compressed lens, meaning it has these, it's like a lens, but it's made ultra light by condensing and cutting down the surfaces and stacking them, much like a lighthouse lens. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but so this has 3 PIR sensors, so you're obviously going to get longer record distance or pickup distance with them, and the camera's placed higher, and it's obviously a low glow infrared trail camera. This is something you would be able to cover more of an open area, or even in a ravine where you can kind of see the top on the right, or where something switchbacks down, but at even a distance like 70 foot.
So the fact that there's 3 sensors here.
Yes.
And the only thing I knew about that was these 2 side sensors activate the trigger and out of sleep mode faster, so I'll get faster trigger time and more animals. It's way more than that, isn't it? I mean, it's well, that's the main thing.
Yes.
But along with that large lens,
being high up too on the camera over the PIR ensures that you're going to get smaller critters down low, and anything's going to be squarely in shot, no cut off heads, no.
Right.
And you can also, what's efficient about that is that you can bury this camera mostly in the moss on a stump and shove the moss right up tight to the PIR sensors.
Yeah.
So there's more flexible uses for that type
so
of thing.
it's using, well, I see 2 inside.
Yeah, so that's 2, and then this has a splitter. You see
A
this?
splitter. So the bottom one is...
It's basically taking infrared.
It's
taking infrared energy and essentially deflecting it into one's PIR.
Fascinating.
And so you have 2 different PIR sensors. One or both, I can't quite tell. Each have a cell on each side that look for the motion or exchange. But yeah, this camera is innately more sensitive. Probably consumes a little bit more power because it's running 2 sensors. But you're going to get longer detection ranges and more detections than a traditional single plane sensor on a camera like this older one here.
Everything that I've torn apart has LED lights.
Yes. Most of those look low glow.
Yes, they are. None of these are, well, actually, this does have the blackout. It's filtered. So.
Yeah, it's just a filter, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just
some toys with you.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to cover real fast is so this is the original camera that I use. This is a Campark T200.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of these cameras. 85-foot detection range, 4K 30, solar hybrid with the external AA shift that it will jump to, for backup. So when that pack fails, I have power for another couple months.
Right.
And what I love about these are their extreme low glow. So this is essentially 850 nanometer IR.
Low glow, and it's blacked out.
Yep. To really shut down the highlights in there. So this is the inside of that camera right here.
Oh.
This is the exact same make and model, but this is his guts. And what I wanted to show you guys is look at the quality of circuitry difference between.
Yeah, there is a big difference.
See, look at how thin
right off the
fine lining is, whereas the etched in, deeper, full on gold and silver contacts. It's just a much more high quality board on it. But that's not even the special part. The special part
is something else.
Is also you notice the LED coloring here. That's to shift certain levels of IR for distances. So they can reduce how much output the middle has so it doesn't totally white out the animal in the middle while totally underexposing the background. It's kind of like a frame.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Also along the horizon line, so wherever your sky, you're going to have natural infrared in the background. It kind of like frames the shot to the camera.
I get that washout all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And this also has an auto exposure rating. That means to save power, if it knows the animal's covering most of the sensor because it's really, really close, it'll dial down how much infrared it's going to pump out.
Wow.
And the further away it is, the more infrared it can pump out. And I can get a long-range flash, like a 70-foot flash. And so here you can actually see, this is a PIR sensor. This is the sensor. Now the sensor itself has those, like I said, two plates that guard right next to each other that are looking for boom change and then exiting, and then that wakes the camera up. And that is where your trigger speed comes from. Now, if you look, this is the same thing. This is the sensor. Well, then why do they have this goofy dome thing? Well, really fine-grade petroleum shields like this that are curved, because they're like a petroleum-based plastic, they actually allow deep infrared energy to pass through them. That's what this is. This is just a weather shielding and as well as a signal distillation basically filter. So if you look on the back of one of your destroyed cameras here, you see that goofy honeycombing?
Yeah.
That is a form of lens design that is meant to disturb, disrupt, and displace infrared energy to reflect it into the sensor from goofy angles. So no matter where the animal comes in, it's supposed to pick it up and register to the two plates in there. So that way the camera gets set off no matter what from every angle. And it's a type of lens, that's why it's thin. If I were to recreate that lens out of glass, it would be super thick. But if I cross-section the lens into tiny little pieces and consolidate the pieces, I can have a thin lens that does what a lighthouse lens does, which is it's encapsulated and closed and compressed, but I can disrupt energy as I'm sending it out or taking it in to centralize and focus it. Now that's really important because this material allows that energy to pass inside to that sensor and trigger the camera. And you'll notice some cameras have really, really goofy ones like this one, and others just have
that one is fascinating.
Yeah.
It's just like it almost looks like it has blisters. It's got different.
Yeah, that's the collapsed lens.
Yeah.
That's the collapsed lens, and you can actually see it to a degree on this one here too. You see the 6 disruptions.
Oh, yeah. It kind of looks like that blister packaging that
but it's not
bubble packaging.
It's not. It's just actually a distended false plastic lens. But
there's so much to these,
and that is gonna refer back to later when we talk about thermal.
Right.
That lens, the petroleum thin product, allowing the infrared energy to pass through to set off the camera. So that'll matter later. But yeah, that covers the important part of your camera, learn what your PIR sensor can do if you really want to expand your range on your animals and know for what situations you're going to be putting them out. Look at what the PIR sensor is, how it looks, how it's shaped, how large is it look cheap, and what is the claim detection range. That's the biggest aspect to getting something on camera versus having a camera with 2 pictures of the wind on it. So,
wow.
Yeah.
We have absolutely beat up the circuitry in these. Thank you so much for going over this. For all you that are extremely interested in this and the guts of the camera and how they work, if you've got any questions, go ahead and comment back, and I'll definitely get back with Nathan and get some answers for you. And if there's enough of the same thing, maybe we'll go right back and get into that topic. Okay, I think that's enough for now. Let's get into your choice. Pringles or thermal, or what do you want? Where should we go from here?
Yeah, let's start with thermal imaging and the advantages of it and why it's something that is just now starting to come into the hunting community as a new tool. As much as I love trail cameras, I love thermals so much more.
Okay, hang on a second.
And then when we talk thermal trail cameras, it's even more.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay, we're gonna get. We probably cut something off there. That's a shame. we are learning about circuitry, technology, and while we're learning, we don't know how to operate my own stuff. So
we'll get there.
Yeah, we will definitely get there. I get better and better. Okay, so we were talking about cards. I think we have pretty much beat up all these cameras. I really have great knowledge now, thanks to you, on how this stuff works. I really, really do. I kind of wanted to move on. You brought some. All right. Let me set this down. We are back, and now we're going to get into thermals. This is building until we get into your thermal camera.
Yeah.
All right. Why thermals?
So thermal imaging compared to trail cameras are a tiny little thing that is there when you are not. They have a limited sight range, field of view, light conditions, all that stuff. Because they're based on light, what they're typically doing is they're either putting out something and by illuminating it, or just taking in the natural ambient light that is coming in to the picture on the visible light spectrum or the near invisible light spectrum. Thermal is seeing beyond bounced or emitted light. It is seeing basically into the metabolic rate of an organism and representing it in the deepest form. So essentially, you're seeing a type of light that.
Would you say that one more time for us slow folk? Say that one more time. I gotta get my head around this. Thermal is doing what?
Thermal is seeing into essentially the realm of heat. So non-visible light. Heat and light are directly related on the spectrum. And this sensor is picking up on basically what your metabolism is generating, which is heat, and how it's emitted out into the environment. This sensor is able to pick that up. No matter the lighting condition, no matter the shading, no matter the shadow, no matter the situation or obstruction, it is going to see right past a shadow or hiding in the shadows. It can see 2 a.m., 2 p.m. Doesn't matter. It's going to see.
So we're basically a picture of screen with different temperatures.
Yeah.
And depending on how you code reading those temperatures, it turns into a picture.
Yeah.
Got it.
And it's depicting in pixels and the depth of the heat and representing it as a subject. So, like, my shirt's going to be a little cooler than my face or my eyes.
Right.
My glasses are going to look black because they're cold. But my skin is, like, that's the amazing thing. I could hold a piece of glass up right now and you would not be able to see me because the camera that is thermal is going to be looking at the temperature of the surface of the glass. And you in the visible light spectrum will look right through the glass as I'm waving at you.
Yeah.
So thermal does not care about visible light whatsoever. It has zero cares about visible light. It only cares about the spectrum of light that is related directly to the output of heat or metabolic rate of an organism, for instance.
Something just popped into my mind that we should probably wait till later. Is there a hybrid of the both?
There is a hybrid of the both, and it's used in the military currently. It's a new generation of thermal imaging.
I think I heard of that. We'll go in, maybe go into that later. Let's just stick to what we can go out and buy right now. So what do you have with you?
So this is I brought this as a comparison unit. This is not my personal unit that I use all the time. This is a friend of mine's. This is a Pulsar Axion 2 thermal monocular for those interested. They're a great little handheld thermal imager, and this is your typical field use pocket imager. It has an internal battery, can be bus powered, it has a few gigabytes of onboard storage for video. It's got different color palettes, zoom, all the things that you would imagine a night vision would have, or a little monocular video camcorder. It does all kind of the same thing, and you can adjust the diopter. But what's cool is, like I said, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m., no matter the lighting conditions whatsoever, this thing completely passively, in all conditions, can see a glowing body hiding in the forest, no matter how far away. I could see a person with this at 900 yards,
right,
standing in the timber, peeking out behind a tree. I won't be able to tell who they are,
right, but
I'll see them. You can't do that with a night vision.
Let me step back just a second. Night vision is different than thermal, and night vision is
infrared. Traditional visible infrared, meaning within the light spectrum in which the eye can perceive generally, there is a part that where the human eye drops off in ability, and that's around 850 nanometers infrared. And where that eye drops away, that's still emitted or bouncing light that is being thrown out by a source, like an LED or the sun. But the sun also has different ends of that spectrum. Like ultraviolet light is the cold end of the spectrum of light. And then you have infrared, which is the deep spectrum of light. And that's closer toward the heat production side. That's why fires produce so much infrared and heat. So because the fire is generating not just within the infrared spectrum, but also the heat spectrum. It's like right in the middle, and it's perceivable to us. You feel it on your face and on your camera. So night vision strictly sees into that infrared spectrum. It's looking for everything between basically, from 940 nanometers and down. And then when you get to deep level infrared, then you start breaking from the laws of light being emitted and bouncing around. Then you're jumping into raw, deep heat, and then from there it goes down into radio waves, like a microwave.
So basically, if I want to see something and penetrate the forest as far as I can, daytime or nighttime, thermal is probably the best way to do it.
100%.
Well, because it's not even,
you don't have anything to get confused by. For instance, in an infrared illuminated environment, if something's peeking out of the shadow behind something, if that animal's dark colored and the tree is dark colored, it doesn't matter. The thing can still hide from you. Whereas the color is irrelevant because the contrast in the image is generated by the cold tree and the hot subject, which the hot subject is white and the tree is black or deep gray. So there is no hiding from thermal. It is not really possible for an animal to hide from thermal.
Well, I have a little experience with thermal.
Yeah.
I have the old green FLIR mono.
Yeah.
In fact, they're in the back room.
FLIR Scout.
Yes, in a matter of fact.
Yes.
The 2, the one that processed a little bit better. I think it was the 2. Maybe
it's a little bit better millikelvin sensor.
Yeah, but it's amazing what I could see.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. And then I got the little handheld one that looked like a phone.
Yeah.
And then I ended up with a FLIR Breach.
Oh, those are nice.
Oh, those are very, very nice. It processes fast, and you can kind of run around. We were using for search and rescue.
Yeah, more of a natural FOV, lighter weight. You can bus power the unit. There's a host of things that the Breach is great for. I've used it extensively.
I like the breech. The only problem I had with it is I'm not one of the guys that can get used to it and run through hallways and do stuff with that. It was very difficult for me. And then they came out with some new, bigger models. And I knew a guy that worked at Breach, and a little trivia question for the end. I was actually a FLIR model. If you go back a few years, yes, you learned something about me. If you go back a few years ago, I am in the FLIR commercials doing tactical stuff, and then I'm doing hunting in both U.S. hunting, and I had a U.S. wife, and then we dressed in European, and I had a European hat, and I had a European wife too. And so I'm a FLIR model.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that a different segue?
And the funny part is, no matter how you looked, you still looked hot.
Oh my God! Oh my God! So, why did I slip that in there? I think it's funny.
It was relevant trivia.
It's definitely relevant trivia. I am a FLIR model. Son of a gun. All right, so, do we want to keep going with this? Processing is a big deal. Tell me about processing.
I want to talk about the grade of sensor. That's one thing that definitely needs to be talked about in your hertz range. So the frame rate, because otherwise, if you get the old models, it's
terrible.
Yeah. So firstly, I'll cover on the frame rate.
Yes.
So in the lower end models, these sensors tend to be about 9 to 24 hertz, which is low frames per second video, and those are very difficult to use in the woods and get used to, and they're honestly kind of trash. You always want a frame rate of over 30 for field use. At least
is that 30 changes per minute?
30 frames per second.
30 per second?
Yes.
Oh, so that's fluid. That's just going to be
yes. You
wonderful.
Want 30 frames per second. Standard cinematography video back in the early 2000s was 24 to 48. But you typically, the smoother the footage is, and then also you can slow down your subject. When you dial back into slow-mo, you can slow down your subject with less drift and jump. So having like 60 FPS, I'll be able to cut a subject running away in half, or a deer bounding off, so that deer will bound in slow motion and still have a smooth.
Nice thing about my editing program is I can go all over the place. You've seen what I do. I get a little bit crazy with
push in, push out, drift, slide.
I go
drop.
Everywhere. I'm like the zoom king.
You got the.
I can do all of it, but I hit that.
You
zoom
got
all
the frame
time.
Zoomies. Like,
yes,
hey,
I do.
Well, yeah, you got to track you're so used to tracking the dogs.
Well,
but you're used to tracking the animals.
Well, there's so much going on in the trail cameras that only happens over here or over there, and it's small and stuff. And some of the most incredible stuff I've got was just a little small segment in a corner.
Yeah.
And then with my editing program, I turned it into like, that is awesome, and I'm not the smartest guy around, but I can do that. Yeah. And it works for what I do.
Oh, before I forget, you asked in the podcast, as well as on the Blacktail Coach before, I just want to say this so you have it for your memory banks for if you do another episode with them. The trick to getting them on trail is to always have some degree of either oblique angle. So they're crossing from one sensor field into another at a rate that shows enough change that the sensor knows to actually wake up the camera. The second thing is, if you're going to point it down a trail, point it down a trail that's not straight. Point it down a trail that has snake or twist, and then sudden turn at the end. And then have that camera where the rapid turn is going to occur. So you're going to get that animal, because it's going to cross field 1, field 2, and then last second from field 2 to field 1. And you're going to get the best pickup that way.
Did you hear what my answer to him was?
No, I don't quite remember. I was driving home.
It's more cameras. You have
Well,
to buy more.
yeah, of course. That's true. But you can maximize the reach of every camera with just that little tinge, you know?
Don't tell my wife that. It's more cameras.
Yeah. No, I won't. I won't say, I don't watch this. In fact, if you're John's wife, don't watch this. No, but another thing you can do is at intersections where you have like a 3-way or 4-way trail, don't ever look down one trail with the other intersect. Always cut the X off center where you're looking down the pie. So if you want the trails like this, you don't want it like this. You want that oblique so they cross the sensor field.
Why do slinkier critters like cats seem to get in and get farther before activation, or I get less at a higher angle?
Yeah,
get significantly less.
Yeah, so when you go up an angle, you're creating a situation where it's looking down, and so there's no back wall of temperature being having gradient.
Oh, brilliant!
And
that
so
makes sense.
And there's no gradient background of temperatures to get multiple kinds of disruption in different weather formats. Instead, it's like the ground is 47 degrees. And it's pretty consistent.
No one has ever explained it to me that way. So that's the answer.
But it's not just the only answer. The other part is when you point out into the forest, the sensor knows to have more sensitivity for the total image because, that tree is 49 degrees. The ground is 47 degrees. Those leaves are 59 degrees.
It's better with more objects.
Yeah, right? Because you're scaling it to a broader range. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm looking for something with even the smallest change really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just got a blanket, it's just going to react slower.
Great.
And then a cat also is at the point of the hips. It's much like the gimbal on my camera. There is a high degree of stability in the body. It seems to slide into picture. The legs are doing this, but the body is totally stable. Yeah. Whereas a deer, the head is throwing forward. So you're crossing sensor plane 1, sensor plane 2, in and out, turning ears, twisting, looking around. So I'm crossing the plane with more opportunity. The cat's not doing. The cat comes in and goes.
Yeah, especially bobcats.
And
just their feet are going.
And the bobcats are also a smaller target.
Yep.
And they tend to, if you watch them, they tend to move in like between 10 and 18 feet increments before looking.
Oh yeah, I watch them. I love them.
And that's the other problem is they'll get on a log up in the air rather than be on the ground if they're given the option. They like to be on top of stuff. And that's the other thing. They will jump down all of a sudden too. So you'll get blank screen and there's no cat and they're just completely out of frame. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, boom, they are in the middle because they jumped back up.
Fascinating. I love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
So it's all about how the sensor is reading, and then it's reading opportunity versus time versus in and out motion across those two fields of correction. Like that deer head coming in like this, you're getting cross field 1, so it's detecting a change in field 1, and here's field 2, and it's detecting a change in field 2. It's looking for not only change in field 1, because otherwise that could just be the sun rising or a leaf wiggling. It's looking for change in field 2 to go, okay, that's an animal crossing a large area, not a leaf going.
Right.
Or the sun rising and sending a weird wiggle of light because the leaf jiggles out of the way and the light gets shot in. And that still occurs, especially at oblique angles, when the sun crosses through the plastic lens into the glass lens and you get a flare, because then you're getting the light from the sun coming in here and then the flare over here trading places, and that's happening also in the PIR sensor because they're both infrared. So, it's a kind of crazy.
So thing. This conversation, this is just building up and building up.
Yeah.
Are you ready to talk about the true?
Yeah. So true is what a true is it's an acronym for a type of thermal imaging camera. It is the very best of thermal imaging capability and the very best of trail camera technology. And what TRU stands for is Thermal Recording Unit, so TRU. And what these are is ultra long distance thermal imaging cameras that trigger on animals.
Let's go sit with a Squatch while we still got light. All right. Well, we wanted to come outside. We've still got light for obvious reasons. We wanted to invite the Squatch to this discussion because it's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah. So the True is a development that we started working on this project because there wasn't an option out there for long distance trail camera work to capture images of elusive animals like this. And being a thermal guy myself, you know, growing up and having used it, I was like, there's got to be a way to make that invisible world in the long distance pick up and register and trigger, because I can see the change. There should be a sensor that can do it. So over about 10 years, I started working on a design, and my friend Kirk Brandenburg at the Study Sasquatch channel, which I co-run, we started working on these units that were dependent on illustrating a degree of motion to a certain way of sensing the image, and we're able to record over like up to 300 yards a subject. 300 yards trigger range.
Wow.
In thermal, and see the animal and define it from the background and be able to tell that it's there.
So does the animal trigger, or is it going all the time? And then explain that to me. How are you?
I can't go into that too much right now.
Okay.
But I can say this. It is, the animal is setting off the camera.
Yeah.
And the camera system it's just functioning with a different level of tuning than what a traditional camera does, trail camera does.
Compared to a traditional trail camera, nothing can get by what you have.
Yeah, no, my trigger speed is 0.01 seconds pretty much. Maybe 0.02. And so the moment there's change in the image of something hot, I have it. I can trigger on a rodent like a flying squirrel at 100 yards, no problem.
Oh my gosh.
It just goes drifting and splats into a tree and then drops.
So I've seen quite a few of your videos
yeah.
all over online. And so you got to hunt a little bit. What do you think is the best YouTube video if somebody wants to see it for the first time?
Yeah, so checking out, if you want to see the process in which thermal imaging works with this system, we have a video called Thermal Tenacity, and that is on our Study Sasquatch YouTube channel. And
the coyotes and the bears, they look so cool. They're fluid. And then the elk, you can actually see the antlers. Now, was that in velvet?
Yes, so velvet. So again, it's during velvet, elk and deer are producing essentially a calcium deposit that is ever expanding and growing. But over that, to get the calcium and the nutrients, there is essentially new veins and capillaries and arteries and stuff, or things like that, that are transporting nutrients in blood to deposit the calcium and proteins there to build the antler. And what does blood do? It's warm. It's pumped throughout the body. And so it's essentially glowing. And then when the deer lose the velvet and the tissue dies back and the exposed calcium reveals the naked antler, it's cold again. Yeah. And you barely can see it. It's actually very annoying that the antler essentially becomes the same temperature as the environment, and then you can barely see the antler when that buck is running, and the only thing that gives it away is the stumpy neck, Roman nose, and widened ears, and that's it.
But you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can still tell.
Especially when the ears don't come all the way forward like in a doe, because the antler's physically blocking them and tilting them out. Yeah. And you can see a degree of change. It's pretty wild.
How many of these units do you have in the field right now?
We have currently 9.
9.
And we're going to be up to 15 here.
I've watched you guys shortly. They're in development.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a major process.
Yeah, it's been 2 years of development. We're finally at the point where in the final stages of having it where we're going to bring it to where people can start purchasing these units themselves.
Fantastic.
So wildlife research is going to be totally renewed with this, because this is doing you're covering 20 times the area with a true that you're covering with a trail camera.
Right.
And you have no flash, no interruption, no like an elk getting ghosted by the camera and weirded out, because our systems are completely invisible to game. They're completely housed in a waterproof, somewhat bear-proof container, and they don't give off any EMF or
I
ultrasonics.
noticed not a single animal has
turned and looked at the camera because they can't perceive it. We have essentially Faraday caged the cameras. And we don't know necessarily that coyotes and some ungulates can detect it, but there's something giving away trail cameras. We don't know if it's ultrasonics or infrasonics or what.
Lots of theories on that.
Yeah, we have no idea. Or if it's EMF.
Explain EMS.
So yeah, EMF. EMF is electromagnetic fields, and electromagnetic fields are given off by anything that produces power and runs it through circuitry. Think of it like a field of static, like when you rub a balloon on your head, for instance, and you bring it near your face, you feel all your hair lift up toward it, want to touch it. It's a field of energy emitted by something that has a level of perception or influence on the environment. It can have some degree of force or visibility. And then you have radio waves, which are kind of like expelled out and change the dynamics of how objects interact physically or their physical composition. They have an effect in that way. But EMF, there are many sharks, insects, specifically birds, that have a form of visual acuity, or I should say not visual, but they can detect these. They actually navigate much like an internal compass off of EMF fields naturally in the environment. And it seems that coyote at very least seem to be perceptive to something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a number of animals that are aware of EMF and pick it out and eyeball things that they shouldn't be able to eyeball or pick out.
Well, when I see you on YouTube and you're setting these true I see what looks like an ammo can.
Yep.
Basically.
That is to keep it bear proof and act as a Faraday cage.
It does act as a Faraday. Okay, that is, I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
And you made a comment to me the last time we were talking on the phone that there is less EMS.
Yeah, EMF.
That is being emitted from your unit than like the rotting stump.
Yep.
That's fascinating.
And we actually house the units many times in rotting stumps too, to essentially protect them, disguise them, thermally regulate them so they don't essentially get tanked out from ultra low temperatures. The rotting stump produces a ionometer.
How long can you go?
How long does it run?
I see big batteries going in.
We're currently getting ready to sell systems that can currently go 2 weeks, about 13 and a half days. We're going to be selling those. They can be adapted to solar and potentially run as long as you get a panel for, if on private property or something.
Oh, wow.
But, and I have adaptations already kind of underway for that. But our current model can run over about a month. It's about a month.
Is it possible to add more batteries to a system if you can't get back?
There are things you could do to create a bank to provide power. There are things. We don't have necessarily something crafted just yet, but there are ways. Like I said, you can always do a solar fusion to a unit and create a way.
It helps out.
Yeah, that would be something ideal for private property or a very remote location that no one cares if you have it there and you're not worried about it disappearing or something.
Well, you've got everything in that box with the exception of a Starlink adapter that you could.
Just about.
Can you fit a Starlink Mini to the side?
I
got that brain of yours going.
It's possible to link a outfeed to a Starlink. It is.
You've been thinking about this.
Oh yeah.
I could just see your mind going.
What you could, you are generating a signal that would have to be on the outside of the unit to talk to the Starlink, and then
going up the cable and down the cable.
Or if you did a signal, either way. There's things you could do to make it work, but again, the power demand is where you run into problems.
Right.
It's the power demand. Starlink minis typically, for instance, they typically are between 18 and 22 watts consumption rate, and that's not nothing. That's the equivalent of like a few iPhones at the same time.
So with the exception of going on YouTube and finding you all over the place, and you guys hiking in with the ammo cans with the trues, is there another way to find this product? Can I see it somewhere else?
We don't have anywhere else currently. YouTube is our only access point at the moment, and that's because we don't want to advertise false advertising, something that's not there yet to buy. But just know that people out there interested in wildlife recording and wildlife research, there is a new tool on the way that blows trail cameras out of the water and can function in any condition. It's not light dependent. It doesn't have any of the other struggles. Oh, the infrared barely didn't catch the cougar, just saw the eye shine. That's not a problem with a true.
Okay, so why is this the best thing for Sasquatches?
First off, I'm a Sasquatch field report investigator. I investigate reports all throughout Western Washington. If you've seen anything, let me know. Your information is private and confidential. No one's gonna share it from our group. So reach out to our Study Sasquatch YouTube page. We have an email in our About section. Reach out there. Love to talk to you, number one. Number two, so traditional trail cameras, being that they have an infrared illuminator or a flash, when an animal walks in front of them, like a deer, and let's say a Sasquatch is stalking a deer or whatever, being predatory, they're not walking necessarily on the game trail, but the game camera is definitely on a game trail, and the animal sets off the camera, being a deer, and the Sasquatch watches that deer just go poof with light. Because they probably can see into the infrared spectrum. They have really high-grade night vision, which is seeing deeper than we can. We can see 940 nanometer infrared, near infrared. Some people can actually see slightly into the infrared spectrum. But if you had giant night eyes, you could definitely, and you navigate at night, your eyes are more tuned probably for night vision. And essentially, they may be seeing a trail camera blow up an 80-foot circle with bright light on the deer, and the deer's all freaking out, and the Sasquatch is like, I'm not going down there. I'm going nowhere near that. Or they can perceive the EMF. We don't know. There's no way to know. We just noticed that there is a disparity in images on trail cameras of Sasquatch. There are a few out there. Some are private because people don't want to be made fun of. They don't want their name attached or people knowing where. So they're not public. I've seen 2 or 3 over the years that are really, really good. But we don't know if in general they kind of like are able to perceive there's an unnatural thing. For instance, if I took a brick and duct taped it to a lamp in your house, there's a lot of things kind of shaped like the brick, but the moment you walk in, you're going to be like, what is that?
Yeah.
Is it an explosive? I don't want to go near that, and you're cautious of it. Well, these things are obviously human shy, and so they would be kind of cautious of human implements that are kind of disguised in the environment. So maybe they're able to perceive it and actively avoid it for the most part. Every once in a while they make a mistake and there is an image or two, but trues don't struggle with this.
Yeah,
they are no emissions. They do not emit infrared. They receive infrared in the form of the energy going into the sensor. That's it. There is no emission. There is no EMF. There is no, as far as we've been able to measure, ultrasonic production, so ultra high frequency sounds emitted into the environment. The camera does produce a minor click every 20 minutes, between 4 and 20 minutes, as the sensor refreshes. But by the time something is close enough to hear that one instance of it going off versus a constant hum, it's too late. It's on camera.
So you've basically got everything covered. All the theories covered that
was our goal.
Detect.
That was our goal with this. Make them imperceptible because there's something not slapped on the side of a tree. They're enveloped by the environment, therefore blanketed by natural scents, natural sounds, suppression of sound, suppression of energy production, and expelled into the environment. The true is
truly camouflaged.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see that in our videos. They're physically camouflaged, they're energetically camouflaged, and acoustically camouflaged. They've covered nearly every base we could possibly do with the true. And as you mentioned, the advantage is the animals are not able to detect the units.
Everything I've seen online, all the videos, they don't know it's there.
We even blanket the lens with trash bag material so birds don't see the gloss of the lens, for instance, and pick it out or peck the lens.
Because it goes right, it just throws right through there, the thermal.
Yep, and it adds also a level of weather protection. But the point is, we're reducing sheen and shine.
Yeah.
Which is maybe like if you saw a knot hole in a tree, it kind of looks like an eye, pareidolia kind of thing. But we remove the shine, it just looks like a knot hole. So, yeah. It's a new tool. It will be out probably very shortly. We're looking to get them out there to people who are doing wildlife research or just want to take a deeper look into the wildlife in their area.
So what I'll do on the end of this video is if it's okay with you, put some contact information.
Yeah, just link our channel on there and share it in the description.
The Study Sasquatch channel. Okay. Yep.
And if you like Bigfoot stuff, you like wildlife nerdy stuff, and trekking around with me as I'm bushwhacking through the brush, just feel free to like and subscribe to Study Sasquatch. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this if you're not already. And thanks for letting me talk about that.
Fantastic content. I really like watching your guys' stuff and everybody you hang with. It's really very, very interesting, and it's also it's cutting edge. I mean, you go back and you wonder what it was like to be Christopher Columbus, going off, and seeing new lands, Marco Polo and stuff like that. It's
frontier.
It is frontier. I love what you're doing. And I love the techie stuff that you bring with it, because these are all questions that we have. Yeah. Not everybody talks about it, but these are, well, what if? What if that's the thing? If we could just eliminate that, we got it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm a believer, but I've had experiences, firsthand experiences, and I would love to see you be credited with the true discovery because of all this effort that you've put in.
It's been a lot of work, a lot of time, and we're, just to qualify who we are myself, Nathon Bronis, and then you have I'm kind of the tech guy in the group.
We picked up on that.
And I'm a bit of a wilderness nerd. But I can't do it without my team, and that would be my friend and cohort Kirk Brandenburg, Chris Spencer, who's one of our audio analysts and field service guys, his wife Rebecca Slick Spencer, and our drone pilot Scott Burke, thermal drone pilot. But yeah, we're trying to do things that no one's done before. We're innovating. We're trying to move the ball forward and do deeper investigation than what people think or feel or want to believe. We are tunneling into testing theories, rigid scientific analysis, data collection, and if that tool don't exist, build it.
Yeah,
that's our goal.
You need to get online and watch these guys. It's absolutely fascinating. And don't just watch, subscribe. And then you'll get notifications like I did last night that they were live again in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we were doing a live thermal drone flight. So you could see live us flying thermal imaging drones out in extremely remote wilderness areas. And we were piping the footage via Starlink.
It was incredible. A split screen.
Yep.
He's answering questions that people are putting in live.
Yep. And people are able to see live anything, any animal, the elk, the deer last night, some of the rodents and rabbits and stuff. It's
the guys walking around.
Yeah, and the guys walking around. It's just
you throw a question out there. As soon as I came on, he recognized me.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like, wow, this is amazing. So
yeah. We try to really engage people with, if you like nerdy outdoor stuff, bushwhacking, exploring, and finding cool stuff in the woods, and seeing people walk around at night chasing something that most people say don't exist, you're in the right place at Study Sasquatch.
Yeah, you got to follow these guys. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have thoroughly enjoyed this, and it's not going to end here. We're going to have to
there'll be
hook
more.
up and do more.
There'll be more.
Especially because of your comments. Ask the questions. I'll get them to Nathan. If I have to answer them individually, it'd be better if I got them back though. So
no, I was gonna say I can also jump in on the comments myself.
perfect. And we could video conference too.
Yeah,
I did that
Totally.
with a couple of them. So there you go.
Thanks for joining. Alrighty.
We're gonna catch you, big guy. We're gonna catch you.